Adventures on a Tabletop. This is the first episode, and if you're viewing this, I'm assuming you've already watched my prologue videos, so you get an understanding of what you can expect from Adventures on a Tabletop series. If you're not, I suppose I can run through it real quickly. Adventures on a Tabletop series is going to be, it's going to be just playing the game. It's not going to be an overview of the game. It's not going to be a review. And it's probably not going to have too much on the rules, clarification, or anything. It's just playing the game. So if you're viewing these videos, I'm assuming you're kind of familiar with the game, enough to maybe understand what's going on in the game. Or maybe you've read the rule book and maybe you just want some clarification, maybe in a certain rule. Not to say that I know the rules. This is my interpretation of the rules. But maybe you just read through the rule book and you want to get a visual understanding of the game. So if that's what it is, maybe you would enjoy this video because of that. If not, I think you enjoy it just from playing the game and watching being played. I think it's really fun. So when I decided to do the first episode, I wanted to do a game that was an adventure game, but it was pretty light, and pretty easy to get into. That way, anybody who's just beginning to watch this series could watch this one and kind of see what it's about without having a complex game, to get you overwhelmed right off the bat. I do like complexity. You see my walls behind me, but this game I chose as Key to the Kingdom. And it is a very light, not complex whatsoever adventure game. It's for 2 to 6 players. We're going to be playing with 2 players in this game right now. And I don't know what it is about this game. It's an older game. I had this when I was a kid, but it still hits the table from time and time again. I don't know why. It's just a fun game. People really gravitate towards this game when I bring it to the table. They enjoy it. They think it's fun. I don't know, it's a fun game. So that's a great starting point for Adventures in the Tabletop series. So let's hop right into Key to the Kingdom, and I will show you what this is all about. Alright, today we have 2 knights that are going to find the key to the kingdom and a piece of treasure to escape. We have the Blue Knight and the Green Knight. The Blue Knight has won the roll and will move first. He rolls for his movement, and he gets a 4. The Demon King moves to the 4 spot, and then the blue player moves. Green player's movement. He also rolled a 4, so the Demon King will not move. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. The Demon King moves over here, and the blue player moves 1 space. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the green player has stopped at the white dagger. He must try to cross the bridge within 2 rolls. 1. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He successfully crosses the bridge. The Blue Knight's movement. 2. 1, 2. Green player rolled a 1. Close, but not quite. He won't be able to reach the Banshee Towers in this turn. The Blue Knight gets a 3. The Blue Knight has also reached the bridge and will try to cross within 2 rolls. A 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Blue Knight has successfully crossed the bridge. The Green Knight has rolled a 2. And the Green Knight will now enter the Banshee Towers. The Green Knight has came upon a creeping cockatrice. You do not need to be armed. To defeat the creature, you must roll the die twice, and the first roll must be higher than the second. The cockatrice will then consider himself defeated and leave you alone. If you fail, roll the die and move away. Let's see how well the Green Knight does against that creeping cockatrice. 5. Now the second roll must be higher. And it was. The Green Knight has defeated the creeping cockatrice and will gain the treasure located at the Banshee Towers. The Green Knight has defeated the creeping cockatrice at the Banshee Towers and has acquired his treasure. What did he find? He has found the key to the kingdom. That's amazing. What an amazing draw from the very first treasure. Now he just needs to find one other piece of treasure and escape to win the game. The blue player decides to roll the die and move away from the Banshee Towers. He gets a 4. Zoop. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Green Knight, he rolls an 8. Zoop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Blue Knight rolls a 6. The Blue Knight decides to head toward the ice caves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Green Knight rolled a 3. The Demon King almost captures the Blue Knight, but not quite. The Green Knight has jumped into the whirlpool. The Blue Knight has 3 chances to get off that side of the board or to join him in the whirlpool. He has rolled a 3. 1, 2. The Blue Knight has to try to cross the ice caves within 1 roll. The Blue Knight has failed to get through the ice caves. He can now use his fire and immediately get to the opposite white dagger, or he can try to use his axe and try to roll an odd number, keeping the axe if he succeeds. The Blue Knight decides to try to use his axe to get through the ice caves. He has failed. Well, the Blue Knight has lost his axe, but he gets to cross to the opposite white dagger. The green player has successfully opened up the other side of the map. It now becomes the Blue Knight's turn because he was only rolling to get off the other side of the map. So he's going to roll and try to go into the Ice Palace. 7. That's more than enough to get him into the Ice Palace. 1, 2. The Blue Knight has came upon the Hellhound. If you have food, give it to the Hellhound, and he will leave you in peace. If you do not have food, you may try to roll an 8 in 4 rolls. If you fail, lose 1 equipment card and 1 treasure card. Then roll the die and move away. Well, the Blue Knight thinks he can do without food for this turn, so he's going to sacrifice his food. The Blue Knight has defeated the Hellhound from the Ice Palace and has acquired his treasure. He has found the Crown of Glory. What an amazing treasure. But he's not found the key, so he must still go look for it. The Green Knight decides to take the boats and proceed that way. He will wait to his next turn to actually roll. The Blue Knight has defeated the Hellhound at the Ice Palace and decides to roll the die and move away. 8 spaces. 1, 2. The Blue Knight decides to go through the ice caves again. He did not make it across in 1 roll, so he will decide to use his fire and escape to the opposite white dagger. And he loses his fire. The Green Knight will continue using the boats to get to the other side. 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Blue Knight will decide to continue to try to make it to the Evil Tower. 4. The Blue Knight stops at the white dagger. The Blue Knight will decide to build the bridge. 6. He completes the bridge on his first turn. The Green Knight decides to head towards the island fortress. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This Cyclops will graciously carry him across to the opposite white dagger because he has axe and fire. The Blue Knight decides to enter the Evil Tower. The Blue Knight almost makes it in, but not quite. The Green Knight will try to enter the island fortress. 1, 2. The Green Knight has found the gargantuan cockroach. If you have an axe, roll 2 odd numbers to win. 4 rolls allowed. If you fail, lose your axe, roll the die, and move away. If you succeed, the cockatrice will return 1 lost equipment card as a prize. The Green Knight will try to defeat the gargantuan cockroach. That's a success. Failure. Failure. Last roll. Success! Well, the Green Knight has not lost any equipment. However, he has acquired the treasure at the island fortress. He finds the chalice. He now has a piece of treasure and the key to the kingdom, and now he must escape to win the game. The Blue Knight will now enter the evil tower. The Demon King goes here, and he enters the evil tower. How fitting, the Blue Knight has found the evil knight within the evil tower. If you have at least 4 equipment cards, select 4 and roll the die once for each card. If you roll a 1, 2, or 3, you lose the card. If you roll a 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, you may keep the card. If you are able to keep 3 or more of the 4 cards, the knight is defeated and you may claim victory. If you fail, go to the dungeon, but keep your remaining cards. Well, the Blue Knight decides to risk the grappling hook, the rope, the sword, and his shield. Roll number 1. Success! 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 We do not need to roll the 4th one because he's kept 3 of his treasures, and he has defeated the evil knight. The Blue Knight has defeated the evil knight, and has found the rune sword. Still not a key though, but at least he has 2 treasures now. The Green Knight decides to try to make it to the boats again and jump in the whirlpool. He rolled a 5, so we have 1, 2, and the Cyclops will carry him across since he still has his axe and fire. The Blue Knight will now leave the evil tower. 2. Well, he didn't make it very far. 1, 2. The Green Knight will try to make it to the boats this round. 2. He also did not make it very far. 1, 2. The Blue Knight will decide to cross the bridge. 3. 1, 2, 3. The Green Knight will try again to get in the boats this round. 1. Still not enough. Almost there. The Blue Knight gets a 6. The Blue Knight decides to go down the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Green Knight rolled a 5. And he decides to take the boat. The Blue Knight rolled a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the Green Knight will continue moving until he reaches the opposite white dagger. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The blue player is coming upon the spider's web. He rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3. He's almost made it to the spider's web, but not quite. And the Green Knight is going to jump back into the whirlpool. 8. Unfortunately, that 8 is bad news for the Blue Knight. He now will get sent to the Ice Palace dungeon. The Blue Knight will not need to roll to get off to the other side of the map because he's already on the other side. So the Green Knight jumps into the whirlpool. The Blue Knight will try to roll a 1 or an 8 to escape the dungeon. He fails! The Green Knight decides to leave the whirlpool and head south. The Green Knight has rolled an 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Green Knight stops on the white dagger. The Green Knight must try to get around this in 3 rolls. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he has reached the opposite white dagger. The blue knight will decide to try to escape the dungeon again. Fail! The green knight is almost out of the kingdom. He's rolled a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the blue knight's last chance to escape the dungeon without losing anything. He has failed! The blue knight decides to give up his net. The green knight is almost to the entrance. The green knight rolls a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has made it to the last spot. Now the blue knight has 3 chances to try to get there or be stuck in the kingdom forever. The blue knight decides to head south towards the wild boar. 1. Well, that kind of roll is not going to help the blue knight. Blue knight's second roll. 2. 1, 2. The blue knight has approached the wild boar. The blue knight no longer has his food. Remember, he gave it to the hellhound. Therefore, he's going to have to roll a 1 or an 8 to try to get across. 3. He failed. The blue knight failed to get across, but he's going to roll his last roll and see if he makes it across. He rolled a 4. He does not jump across and is stuck in the kingdom forever. The green knight has found victory. He has found 1 piece of treasure and the key to the kingdom. Therefore, he will leave the kingdom and leave the blue knight behind to be forever tormented by the wild boar. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that, and thank you for tuning in to Adventures on a Tabletop. Be sure to join us next time as we play another game and go on another adventure.